challenges already. We're going to get this rolling here in just a moment. Shout out to No Joke Chess if he's there for setting up this stream. Appreciate it. No Joke, if you're watching already, feel free to tweet something about this from the Lichess account. I know you guys usually do. I didn't put a tweet up promoting this, but I usually do. So if you want to tweet something, I'll retweet it. Everyone will be happy. We'll get more viewers here. Generate more hype. Good luck, Mr. Blue 88. So just as a reminder, you can challenge me to 3+0, either casual or rated. It doesn't matter. I'll accept any challenge, but it has to be 3+0. And I'll try to play as many games as I can. Okay. So once again, good luck to Mr. Blue. Awesome to see all the viewers here. I was live on my own channel just a moment ago. Did a little warm-up stream. And I know many of you are coming over from there too, so I appreciate it, guys. Hello, Rhythm Piano. William Shakespeare. Leon MNE says Queen D8 crew. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll play some Queen D8 Scandi. We'll see. Ollie Prune says, win the World Cup, John. Let me get back to you in a couple years about that. All right, let's take this. Hello, Malcolm. Hello, Strut, by the way. Jay Lizeo. All right. Let's take here. So white's breaking through the center, kind of aggressive. I like it. I actually do think that's a good decision by Mr. Blue. Let's take with the queen. Some pressure here and here. Now the question is, well, I was about to say the question is the e5 pawn strong or weak? But there's a bigger question. How is white going to defend g2, which unfortunately is hanging, and that is checkmate. I'm sorry, Mr. Blue. I initially did not see that was a threat, actually, when my queen landed on d5. So that kind of took us both by surprise, I think. But yeah, I think you got to eliminate my light score bishop in this position. So thank you for the game. All right. Who's up next? Heitstein is next. Let's do this. Good luck, Heitstein. Let's play e4. Get this started. I just played a King's Gambit, but Heitstein is 1900. Let's play knight f3. Maybe bishop b5. Maybe we'll play some mainline Ruy, huh? You guys feeling some Spanish game? Oh, yeah. I should have done random. I am sorry about that. I was just playing viewers on my own channel. I usually do random, so I'm going to do that going forward. So, yeah, I didn't press the magic button. Sorry about that. Now, if black castles, c3 is an invitation to the marshal. I'm going to try to play h3 and avoid that. This just gives white a few more options if black goes d5. Like you don't play the pawn to c3 and therefore take it away from the knight. So I might be able to profit from that. May the magic button choose us. Yes, may the odds be ever in your favor. Indeed. Okay, now we're transposing into a closed Ruy. This is the Chigorin variation. This is the most popular branch of the Ruy Lopez. I think that's fair to say. Certainly the most popular branch of the closed Ruy. Maybe the entire Ruy Lopez complex, depending upon how you define that. But tons and tons of games. I know in this position here, the Chigorin knight a5 is the most popular. There's also bishop b7, the Zaitsev, knight b8 is the Breyer. So a lot of options there. Let's play knight f1. No, you should be good, Rhythm Piano. If you got a 3+0 challenge, you should be good. Okay, let's play d5. Not exactly sure about the theory in this position. Again, there's so many nuances, like if black takes on d4 or they don't take on d4. Yeah, the Ruy is pretty fascinating to study, but be ready for a theoretical minefield in some lines. Okay, black is embracing the retreat theory, going backwards. He's trying to to guard f5, but I think he might experience a logjam because if the knight goes here, I do have knight f5, and I can hit this bishop. That's the move he was trying to prevent, presumably, with bishop c8. Magic button, yes, magic button, says Darkness Rises. Shout out to our YouTube viewers as well. I am keeping an eye on the YouTube chat. I see Domdin, Luke Edward, Fred Chun, Demorific, Devron, all in the chat on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. You can check out twitch.tv/lichess.org if you want as well, if you want to follow both chats. If you want to be ambitious. But of course, that's not required. You don't have to simul chats. John, what is your least favorite opening to face as black? As black, interesting. I don't want to give potential ideas away to my future opponents, but least favorite as black. I would say the Exchange Slav, because I do play the Slav complex. So whenever you face the Exchange Slav, you know you're just going to have to play a symmetric position for a little while, play carefully to equalize. It's not easy to equalize against that opening. So you're just in store for probably a slightly slower, potentially more boring game. Okay, g6. Now, do I just take e7 or play knight h6 or even bishop h6 if I dare? Black is looking dangerously cramped still, but I don't see a way to punish them per se. I don't know. Bishop h6 is pretty darn tempting, but I just don't think that works. Let's just take the dark square bishop. It's a pretty important piece. I'm going to go bishop b1. Maybe I can use the c7 square in the future. I think this knight for the moment's kind of glued to the e8 square. Let's send this in, and then maybe I can prep this move. So that knight e8 can't bug me. This looks highly uncomfortable for black. Yes, I did go to UT Dallas. That's right. That is my alma mater. Rook b7, I can play rook takes c8. Oh, and he was obliging. Kind of seemed like rook b8, he was intending rook b7. Give my piece a chance. Thank you for gifting that sub to Mark John 86 on the Lichess channel. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Okay, let's go here. And now, probably play the rook into c8 next. I feel like we're gearing up for some sort of knight g5 business. But I mostly just got to play fast. We got to make sure we win the game. Let's go here. Threaten this. That's a funny attack on the knight. It's pinned. Yeah. Now we're winning a lot of material. No stalemates. And that's checkmate. All right. Thanks for the game, Heitstein. Yeah. So one thing you could do, Heitstein might know this, but for those of you watching, if you want to embrace and use the tools on Lichess, once you finish the game, you can click into analysis board. And I was talking about theory. If you're ever wondering what theory is like when masters say theory, it's basically the aggregate of our experience in chess. Often master level games, computer games even, correspondence games. Lichess has a massive database of Lichess games. You can go in, and there is a book icon. You guys can't see it because my webcam's actually blocking it. But here on the right, below this move list, you can click this little book icon, and it pulls up the Lichess database, showing you what the most popular moves are with the associated percentages. These are winning percentages or drawing percentages. So as I was saying, in this position, knight a5 is the most popular branch by a pretty good margin, too. This is the Lichess, this is the Masters database, rather. so often over the board games. Knight a5, knight b8, bishop e7. And in that sample size of 9,433 games, white wins exactly a third of those games, 33%. 51% of them end in draws, and black wins 16% of them. And you can click through, you can go through the branches. We can see like where we kind of deviated from theory. Just kind of a good thing to do to give yourself a mental lay of the land, right? So like already here, we're whittling down the number of games. Bishop b7, as played by my opponent, is played, but not nearly as popular as knight c6. Yeah, and actually my move, knight f1, the engine doesn't like it that much. d5 seems to score better for white, so that's one thing I might look into if I was analyzing this game. So make sure you use all these tools. You can also toggle it to the Lichess database. This is a constantly updated database, and it is massive. So you're going to see, if we go back to that main branch, that tabia, you can see in the Lichess database, there's over 100,000 games just with the move knight a5 here. Remember, there was, 9,000 some with the Masters database? So, times that by 10 or more in the Lichess database. That's a very large sample size, right? Look at that drawbar. That shrinks to far smaller. So, not as high quality games. That other database was master games, but you get the picture. All right, let's play another game. I got to accept random. All right, Ben 816. Let's do this. I'm going to make a tweet myself. I don't know if No Joke Chess is here. We're going to have to tweet. Let's play another Ruy, huh? Okay. Making a tweet. Excellent. Okay. Ooh, the dreaded Berlin defense. Let's play d3. Let's try to keep some pieces on board. We'll make sure that there's no premature endgame here. Yeah, kind of an anti-Berlin endgame. Absolutely. It's castle. Hello, Angela Ross. Play c3. Let's go h3. Yeah, kind of settling for a slower approach here, but that's all right. Maybe we'll spice it up somehow. Bishop g5. If h6, bishop h4, I'd be kind of tempted to sacrifice on g5. Even though usually the engine's not going to like that, but this is human versus human play. Oh, yeah. That line also fizzles out, though. Always play bishop f8. Isn't that the line that can lead to the quick repetition that we saw in many of those Chess 24 tournaments? Oh, congratulations, Van Venom. So they just won their first game in the Scandi. Well done. Yeah, exactly. The queen d4, queen d6, queen e4, queen e6 repetition. Was I with Magesh P at UTD? Yeah, he was a few years older than me, but yeah, we were there at the same time. He's an awesome dude. Shout out to Grandmaster Magesh Panchanathan. And he has worked with the youngest grandmaster in the world, Abhishek Mishra, or Abhimanyu Mishra, I should say. I don't think he's Mishra's only coach, but he's worked with him pretty extensively. D5, that hits my radar as being a costly move because D4 is coming. Bishop takes D5, D4 check, discovery. Gotta watch that alignment. So Ben is going to pay the price here. Now, this is an alignment that still favors me, right? Because Black cannot take. Might play g5, but we're not concerned, right? We can just go back. Did I like living in Dallas? For college, it was fun. I wasn't intent on staying there that much longer. I did actually stay about a year after I graduated. I was studying for the LSAT, which is the law school entrance exam. I was in law school briefly for grad school, if you will. But no, I wasn't intending on staying in Dallas too much longer after college. It's a little too big for my taste, to be honest. The driving in Dallas is pretty annoying. There's so many people. Houston's even worse, I think. But even here in the Midwest, I'm in the Twin Cities area, Minneapolis, St. Paul. But even here, the driving is pretty bad in certain areas. But Texas is on a whole nother level. Rated is okay. That's right, Vams. Yeah, if you want to challenge me rated, you want to take a free shot at my rating, feel free. Okay, so I'm up the piece here. Just looking to stay assertive, trade down, but maybe attack. I can probably justify this. That probably would have been good. Maybe I should do that. That looks fun. Let's take. We're going to rip that Black King open. I think... Yeah, he just resigns. This is looking like a forced mate. I'm going to take here next. I was even calculating if something like that would work, but probably would have just taken on g5. So thanks for the game, Ben. That was an alignment problem, as I said. Just d5, too risky to play with the king on h7. That bishop is lurking like an alligator right under the water. I just took a swamp tour in New Orleans last week. So that's just that alligator like peering over the edge of the water, ready to strike against the prey here. Even though you can't see him very well. No, he's there, and he's packing a bite. Okay, thanks again for the game. Who do we have up next? Hang V. Let's do this. 3+0. Let's play a Scandi. Someone was asking about the Queen D8 Scandi. Let's do it. Straightforward line. I have a course on Chessable about this variation. It's been a line I've played for many, many years now. You can learn it in an afternoon, basically. There's some similarities to the Caro-Kann. You often put pawns on e6 and c6, although this line I'm playing a little more ambitiously. Yeah, Fischer didn't like the Scandinavian. That is true. I remember some strong GM beating Caro-Kann in the Queen D8 Scandinavian. Might have been Magnus because he beat Fabiano at the Olympiad, I think in 2014 with the Queen D8 Scandinavian. So decent bet that it was him against Caro-Kann as well. Ooh, and that is a hang. Speaking of hang, a piece hang. Got to watch those long-range moves with the diagonal pieces, bishops, queens. One of the most common blunders I see at amateur level. I feel like I mention it almost every time I'm streaming and playing viewers especially. One of the most common blunders is these long-range moves, diagonally specifically. Bishop c4 and a6 is a really interesting line, says Dragoon. Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty ambitious line, but I agree. I like it. Okay, let's just play f6. Let's start. Oh, I had a pawn there. Speaking of hanging stuff, I could have taken that. We're up a piece. This is looking good. We'll just tidy some things up, and then I think I'll try to send the knight in here. b4. Fortunately, I had bishop f2. Like, I got to watch myself that I don't get a piece trapped, but as long as we make sure our pieces have mobility, we should be good. I'm just going to trade down here. If bishop d3, maybe knight d1, or knight d1 anyways here. That looks good. These two pawns are targeted. If the b pawn moves, I can win the c pawn. After a6, does white have a shot at f7? Yeah, white can try for a quick knight e5, which you do have to be careful sometimes. I go over lines like that in my chessable course. But yeah, you have to be careful about a quick knight e5 from white, especially if white does not push the d pawn early on, as I think Hang V did not. They kept the d pawn back. You do have to be a little cognizant of their counterplay there. Does the theme and piece set affect play? For me, no, not really. As you guys will see later on with the horsey set. But I'm not going to torture you guys too much with, playing with a set like this. That would lead to an instant destruction of the viewership, or maybe this set as well. I can't do that to you guys. I can't linger. I mean, we will go to this set at some point, but thanks to the game, Hang V. You were doing fine up until 94. So, yep, just got to watch those diagonal moves. That's something you can drill, by the way. So, practicing those long-range queen and bishop moves. But thanks again for the game. Hey, Wild Goose Chess. Shout out to them. Good luck. Tic-tac-toe chess, yeah. So that set, interestingly, I know I said I wouldn't do this, but just to point that out real quick, this is actually an ingenious set design. Right? So it just looks like coggy, like cogs. I mean, it might even be called, I don't know what the name of this set is. What is it called? Shapes. But the way the pieces look here is how they move. Roughly, right? Like you got the bishop with its diagonal indicators here, the rook, up and down and side to side, queen, combination of those two. So kind of cool. Pawns, I mean, maybe a little more interpretation needed there. But there's some method to the madness. Well, you got chosen by the magic button, Wild Goose Chess. Let's play the Gingy Indian, one of my favorite openings. This is such a fun line to play. Probably unsound. Stockfish is going to rip this apart, but I like this concept of doubling white's pawns and then f5 to control the e4 square. If white plays routine moves here, they often just get a bad position. The beefeater, yeah, this is the beefeater variation. Is it as unsound as the Jerome Gambit? I don't think so, because the Jerome Gambit, you're straight up sacrificing two pieces, right? I guess one piece maybe, but no, I don't think it's as bad as that. But you will, if you analyze this with Stockfish, I'm pretty sure it's going to say like +1 or 1.5 for white pretty early on. So be advised. But I'm telling you, if white has never encountered this line before, or it's a fast game, or you think your opponent, as with the white pieces, is prone to playing routine moves, it's remarkable how fast white can just get a bad position out of this. I mean, Wild Goose Chess may allow me to demonstrate that hypothesis even. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. But I'm just saying, it's pretty amazing. Okay, I'm going to go here, and then bishop d7, and maybe creep with queen a4 and try to target the c4 pawn. Knight e4 is also an option, but let's first play these kind of standard moves. Because the bishops are a bit caged. That's the thing about this line. These bishops do not have great scope early on. I'm going to offer a queen trade, so here's that creep coming into the position. Queen trade favors black, for sure. These endgames are real nice for black. I think Wild Goose Chess should play queen b3 in this position. But then I'm going to go bishop d7. Black ends up castling queenside oftentimes in these lines, by the way, because despite the half-open b file, black's king is super safe. John, do you have any insight on what an 1800 rapid on chess.com would be FIDE-wise? I would say probably 16 to 1700. If you have a high sample size, maybe closer to 1,500. Yeah, that's what Nick said. Let's say 15 to 1,700, somewhere in that range. Okay. So let's go here. It's castle now. So I've got good pressure on the knight on c3. Now, often the next step in this line is to play e6 or e5. I'm just debating which one I want to go for. Maybe e6 to introduce some tension. If he takes, then I've got good play there. I might pull this back now, just to pressure d5 a little bit further. And that's probably a pawn. I think I can take that. I mean, he might open things up a little bit. The clock, though, is looking real suspect for Wild Goose. Okay, pivoting. Probably trying to come to c4. Let's go here. We'll make that trade. Pull this back. Just up a pawn. Kind of cruising here. Maybe f4. Yeah, he's just out of time. All right. Thank you, Wild Goose Chess. Yeah, they muted the stream. They weren't expecting it. Thanks to the game. But I'll just show you guys what, since you guys were curious, what the engine thought about this opening. Let's take it right here. Yeah, it's actually not as severe of a disadvantage as I would have thought. But you have to navigate down the lines. Two of the best moves for white are displayed here. I have the engine set to show the top 3 moves in analysis. E4 and H4 are two of the best ways to play against the Xingyi Indian. You might want to look into if you're curious about it this opening. But again, those are not moves that a player facing this opening for the first time as white are likely to play. But both moves intend to make contact with the enemy structure and try to open things up for the 2 bishops. Thanks again, Wild Goose. We're up to 130 challenges. This is awesome. Ralph X, hello. I know who this is. Shout out to Ralph X. Hope you're doing well. Let's play a Smith-Morra. I had a really interesting Smith-Morra game about half an hour ago against one of my viewers. How many of you guys play this opening? Mark would be proud. Yeah, I hope. I do know this line. I know this one. Black can take this pawn, but then there's some fireworks that happen. Some minor fireworks. John, would you recommend playing 15 plus 10 games only online to improve? That's a good time control for online. You could even bump it up higher if you want. If you want to play 30-minute games, that's good too for improvement. I would certainly recommend mixing in some over-the-board chess if you can. Okay, so black's going to take me up on it. Now the idea is bishop takes f7, followed by queen d5 to regain the piece. King f6 to defend the bishop is too risky, like knight e4, maybe even bishop g5. Yep, so this is all correct. I played this line a couple times. White is still down a pawn here, but the dark square control is pretty significant. I'm out of book now, though. I don't know how this goes at this point. Let's just castle. Yeah, I do have Mark Esserman's book. That's right. Shout out to Mark Esserman. He's a master of this opening. He wrote a book on it. And he plays on Lichess as well, streams on Lichess. He's Why So Serious is his username. I got a signed copy of this book from Mark, actually. It is one of my prized chess possessions. Thank you, Gen Z, for donating 1,000 bits to the Lichess channel. Gen Z asks, what tactics books do you recommend for a 1400 USCF player? Ooh, now I can take on D7. Yeah, this is going to win Ralph X's queen. Tactics books for 1400s. I mean, the modules like on Lichess, chess.com are quite good. You can definitely do that. If you're looking for like a dedicated book, I actually think the Fundamentals series by Yusupov is pretty good. They're not all pure tactics, but they mix in, the author mixes in some nice overall themes on various aspects of chess improvement, and there's plenty of puzzles in there. So I would recommend that. At 1400 USCF, I think you're on the low end of that series, as in low end of the recommended rating range. It is pretty difficult, but you could dig into that. Yeah, thanks for the game, Ralph X. Ralph X is one of my students. And yeah, look forward to talking to you soon. We'll definitely talk about this variation. All right. Wait, did I? Oh, okay, there we go. T. Larry. This was a random game. T. Larry, good luck if you're there. Yes, they are. Okay, what have I not played? Let's play a Caro. Try to work in a bunch of different openings, huh? Okay, so this line should not be that great for white. I'm going to play c5. This is similar to a position you can get in the Scandi, by the way. Although in the Scandi in this line, if white goes e4, d5, e5, you can play c5 in one go. So here, I'm playing that like down a tempo, but this should still be pretty good for black. Hello, Bird Up. Well, I have not Starbucks. I have coffee in my building now, so that's pretty awesome. I still do go to Starbucks from time to time, though. Some people on YouTube are asking how do they challenge. Also, Sibby asked in all caps, will he accept challenges from an 1800? With 4 question marks after that. Yes, Sibby, I can guarantee you I will accept the challenge from an 1800, even a 1968. No fear. So I encourage you to bring it. Now, if you're white, you can't take there. Drops the bishop. I kind of set him up for that one. Okay, now here I could take, but I'm just going to trade the queens. I'm already up an amount of material that's going to win. So let's just keep it simple. King d7. I can keep my king towards the center. Queens are off the board, so don't fear playing a move like this. The king is not that exposed. White doesn't have a light square bishop or other pieces to really hurt me here. Totally fine to play that. Let's target this pawn. Get a rook in the game. Maybe this. Threaten knight b3. If he puts the rook on c1, he still runs into knight b3. What about a 1660 who hangs their queen on move 6? We have a Gotham Chess viewer in the chat. I'll take that challenge as well. Can I choose a side in the challenge? I don't know what the rules are for that, if there is a rule at all. I have no problem with that, but I don't know if Lichess will say otherwise. Like when I give simul's over the board, typically the tradition is that the simul giver has white in all their games. But I've never really liked that. I like allowing people to choose, and as long as there's like close to a even number of white and blacks, I generally find it to be okay. And a lot of other people who give simuls, masters and whatnot, they do the same thing. So I think the simul giver has to have white in all games. It's a bit of an antiquated concept. I think it's more interesting to play black in certain games as well. Some of you probably find it easier to play black. That is for sure a common phenomenon. First, knocking out some pawns here. Let's play a6. I'm just going to kind of button up the position, make sure rook takes a7 doesn't happen if I move the knight. Yeah, let's go here now. Maybe pivot the knight, something like this. Yeah, when you're playing black, like you don't have necessarily the burden of proving an advantage in many positions. So I think there is something to that. And also, it's the simple fact that the vast majority of players who study chess, they spend a lot more time studying their black openings than they do their white openings. Right? Like, do you guys feel the same way? I think this is something that'd be pretty easy to prove, but I've for sure seen that. I mean, most people want to be prepared as black against both e4 and d4 if they're serious about chess. So at a minimum, like they'll study their main defense against both of those moves. Whereas from the white side, they may not delve into the theory as much. In certain lines, they will, but they may be content to just study a few variations, maybe what to do against, let's say you're an e4 player, like what you're going to do against e5, c5, and kind of wing the rest of it. Hello, Andy is Yoda. Let's take. Got to watch my time a little bit. Just play to trade down here. We're just going to go get a queen next, more than likely. Or take more material. Why not? Check. Check. I've got that knight corralled, basically. I can practice cage theory and just queen the pawn. All right. Thanks for the game, T. Larry. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that opening, I don't think this is a great line for white where you play e5 paired with knight f3 and you're not moving your d pawn at all. Yeah, and in this position here, I guess you got to play it as a gambit. Probably have to castle it or something. So thanks for the game. All right. Good luck. Lilliputiense. Lilliput. Isn't that from like Gulliver's Travels? The Lilliputians. Good luck if you're there. Let's play at Alekhine's defense in this game. Hey, John, have you ever played John Spielman? No, I have not, but I've seen him in real life a couple times. Seen him at tournaments. Seems like an interesting dude. Has some cool hair. Let's go d5. Oh, thank you, Get Outplayed. Do you mean my courses? I haven't written any books. But if you mean courses, thank you very much. Have I ever played the Boleslavsky Sicilian? Probably via the classical, because I play the classical Sicilian. So, yeah, the Boleslavsky could happen out of that. Hey, John, can you give us tips for making plans in the middle game? I really can't because that's such a broad topic. The middle game is the most difficult phase of the game to master and study. It's largely experience driven, although you can maybe study certain books or courses to aid in your understanding of the middle game, but you're going to be building up most of your experience and understanding of the middle game via trial and error. But one book, especially if you're a little higher rated, that I would recommend for the middle game is by Grandmaster Johan Helston. Bishop takes e6 is clever, but it's not going to work because the queen takes c3. But it's by Johan Helston. It's called Mastering Chess Strategy. I really, really like that book. It's actually part of a series of 3 books: Mastering Opening Strategy, Mastering Endgame Strategy, and the book that's mostly dedicated to the middle game is called just Mastering Chess Strategy. Okay, I feel like I should have mate in a matter of moves here. This is a double check, so let's play it. Probably just take here, huh? Many, many good moves. I'm not going to spend the time to calculate some mate a move quicker. Let's just take here. I'm threatening mate on the next move. I don't think I have a mate in 1, though, because he can block with the knight against everything I can do here. Is that right? There's no mate in 1? I don't think there is. Let's do this one. All right. Thank you for the game, Lily. Yes, thank you very much. So this was Alekhine's, kind of a similar thing to last game with e5 paired with knight f3. I just don't like the lack of pawn presence for white in the center. I think you're going to want to use your D and maybe your C pawns as well. So, yeah, thanks for the game. Who's up next? Oh, Relfex got back in here. Relfex. Even though Relfex is my student, I swear this is not rigged. That was the algo. That was purely the algo. I clicked. You saw it. You all saw it. He's just lucky. The magic button chose him twice. Paid actor. Let's play another Jinji. Oh, he declines the Jinji. Smart student. He knows. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to weed out repeats. Repeats are encouraged. Yeah. Again, I don't know what the official Lichess line is on repetitions here. We know what the Chessable line is. They embrace spaced repetition. Okay, bad joke, but yeah, that's just how things turned out. Ooh, now I want to take and then take here, but he does take on b7 after that. Now, if I take, and take with the bishop, I would lose my knight on h6, so I can't do that. Therefore, I'm going to play rook b8. Oh, nice. That's great. Cheeseburgers, man. That's awesome to hear. I'm going to be checking those out for sure. Relfex must be a Russian chess school enthusiast. Always repeat. Yeah. Always repeat. I remember asking Relfex about his username because I was like, I have a hard time remembering your username because I want to type reflex if I'm looking up your profile. And he's like, yeah, I just mistyped it when I was registering for Lichess. We're going to attack the rook, and then I'm going to bring the knight back to c5 and try to fork this and this. Ooh, he takes. Okay. Let's take back. All right, so now he can play rook d1, and then the bishop's reinforced, so I probably got to defend this guy, huh? Like rook e8? Let's do that. Yeah, I can respect that. That he just didn't change it. He's like, I'm rolling with Relfex. It's like when I made my username Fins. I made it long ago. I was just listening to a Jimmy Buffett song called Fins, which is a great song, by the way. All right, Relfex, here's a test. You got to see that your queen's under attack. I think he will. He's not going to let us down. But yeah, I made the Fins username, and I'm not particularly attached to it. But, you know, you just start using it for your online accounts. Now, if knight c3, I'm going to do a Jinji Indian-esque capture with bishop takes c3 to double up the white pawns. So he avoids that. Now, I could take the pawn on b2, but I would have to reckon with rook b1, right? Because I got a couple pieces lined up here. I guess I could play bishop c3 at that stage. You know, let's risk it. I think it's fine because he's got a couple pieces on dark squares that I can attack. Rook b1, maybe even bishop e5, but bishop c3 is probably best here. So if he takes, this rook is undefended. So if his king was on f1, maybe this might change the calculus a little bit, although then I'd have knight d2. But thank you, Andy. Says Finns is a great name for a chess shark like John. Thank you very much. I want to be known as a chess whale, not a chess shark, though. Can I be known as a whale? I think maybe you have to be a grandmaster to be a whale. You know, like in the investing world, they have whales who like move the market, the big players with lots of cash. I don't think I'm at that level in chess. We can go down the list, right? Like some of you guys are dolphins. Some of you are, you know, run of the mill, like sunfish, guppies. What would you be in the ocean of the chess world? Step Ross says goldfish here, Sag. LB Hikes, is there a plankton? Tuna says wild goose chess. Tadpole. Chess muscle. I should take this pawn. I'd be one of those fish that hangs around underneath the big sharks. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. What are the name of those fish that follow like the whales and the sharks around that are kind of like attached to them? They have like a symbiotic relationship. Oops, I meant to play rook d4. Remora. Actually, Remora is in the song Finns by Jimmy Buffett. There's a reference to a remora in there. Yeah, some of you are remora. Thank you, Relfix, for the good game. Yeah. Yeah, you held out well there. I think probably when I played rook b8, you want to advance d5 or maybe take. Maybe take even. Yeah, you did well. Yeah. Well played. You hung in there for a long time. It's not easy to go toe-to-toe, same time control, same amount of time against a Masters. So, you know, I set you various like small traps, you know, e6, discovery on the queen. You saw that, of course. So thanks for the game again. All right. Van Buren Supernova. Okay, 2309. Let's do this. We could have a whole community. We could have like aquatic gang on Lichess, right? Everyone could choose their ocean avatar. That would be cool. Maybe badges even. Van Buren, are you there? I don't think Van Buren's there. We got to go. All right. You can always re-challenge. Alaba is next. Let's play d4. I feel like an aggressive d4 line, like maybe a Jobava London or something. Like knight c3, bishop f4. Let's see how this turns out. Chess Aquarium, yeah. You can work all the way up from the plankton stage or the guppy stage. All right, Alaba's not there either. We got to abort. Malcolm Tucker, please. I know you're a viewer. You're on my channel as well. You got to be there, Malcolm. Let's go. There we go. All right. Okay, let's play the I'm going to play e4 knight f3, but I'm going to take on d5 and then play knight e5. This is the Apocalypse variation. I learned of this some years ago when I was reviewing a Chessable course by International Master Levon Altunian. This looks really weird, but it actually has some ideas, mainly based around the strength of this knight on e5. So let's go check. Yeah, the Apocalypse variation. Okay, so he's going to allow us to get the bishop pair. I almost don't want to take the bishop pair. Let's play queen e2 first. Yeah, we're going to try to keep the knight on e5 for now. Can you guess what my favorite Jimmy Buffett song is based on my username? Oh, of course, Cheeseburger in Paradise. His username is Got These Cheeseburgers, man. Yeah, e6, safe, respectable. Let's play d4. Queen a5 can be met by knight c3, keeping this defended. So I think we're all good there. I think black's going to be able to navigate this, but on castles, I'm going to pull this back and then take aim against h7. We're shifting the angle of the attack. SL asked on YouTube, hey, John, have you ever played against Hikaru Nakamura? Yes, I have. Yeah, I played against him in a U.S. Chess League game one time, like the 10-plus years ago. And I've also played him a couple times, I think, on chess.com. Hello, Dennis, by the way, from Serbia. This is currently stuck at 1900 on Lichess. Can you give me some good endgame book, please? I can definitely recommend 100 Endgames You Must Know. I like that one a lot. I did the videos for it on Chessable. So that would be a top recommendation. What else? Amateur to IM is a great book as well. It's by now Grandmaster. He was an international master at the time, wrote the book, Jonathan Hawkins. Typical mistake here, by the way, bishop d6, trying to front run my attack from Discovery here. Bishop d6 runs into knight takes f7. And then I win a pawn. But yeah, Amateur to IM is a great book for inspiration, especially for adults. And it's significantly about the endgame, too. So that's another one I would recommend. Has some cool middle game themes, general advice for improvement as well. If you write a book as an IM, then become GM, does the title get changed? Good question. I think you just write, we're all waiting for Hawkins to do that. IM to GM. I want to read that book, IM to GM. Amateur to IM is definitely geared towards, I'd say, like ambitious amateur players. But I think a 1900 on Lichess would still get quite a bit from it, even if some of it is a little over their head. H6. Okay, so now I almost want to take aim at this pawn in a way, right? Like queen here. Let's try that. I mean, this looks interesting. The other thing I was thinking about doing was bishop g3, f4, f5, trying to initiate some attack that way. I'm going to turn my air conditioning off real quick here, guys. It's getting a little cold in here. It's another hot day here today, though, so I've had to have it running. I might regret that decision, but we'll see. Okay, so if I take, let's do it. He might be able to play, after accepting this, his bishop back to f8 to defend. I still think white has a great deal of practical compensation, though. 2 pawns right in front of the enemy king. It's very difficult to defend when you're in... That was loud. Okay. People honking outside. Very difficult to defend when you're under pressure on the clock as well, and your king is open. Yeah. I think if he played bishop g7 or something, he might have been able to stave off the attack here. But this is not looking good. I'm going to take with the rook to... Could have taken with the bishop and threatened mate, but I think here... I don't know. I see some stuff with like rook h4, rook h8, but I may not quite have the firepower yet. Let's just go here. Threaten queen h7. He blocks it. Okay. Don't know. This could get interesting. I don't think this is that sound of a move, but I'm curious. Oh, he doesn't take it. Okay. Let's pull this back. My attack's unsound now, though. He can play knight takes e5. He's defending, but the time is going to decide this one. Ah, yeah. Good game, Malcolm. Yeah, the no increment really killed the quality of that game at the end. Let's check real quick. I bet the engine is not going to like this sacrifice. Yeah, it does not like it. Bishop takes h6. Wants me to play this more patiently. Queen h3 or bishop b1. Because this bishop f8, bishop g7 defense is pretty good. If not for that, this was looking scary for black. That said, I mean, now it actually does like it. Oh, it wants him to insert knight takes e5 first. That's not easy to see. Knight takes e5. I guess the idea is if pawn takes e5, knight g4 with a double attack here. Okay. Well, this was a fascinating game. This could be studied for a while. Probably got a little bit too fancy. Although rook takes e4 is the best move. I was searching for a mate, but I didn't find one. These are all good moves by Malcolm. If he takes my knight, or sorry, takes the rook, is there a mate? No, there's not. I was seeing various things like check, but there's evidently no mate. Okay. Definitely one to look at, Malcolm. At least the tactics at the end. But thanks for the game. Hippo Gonna Bite You is next. Let's go. Good luck. Have fun. Let's play maybe... Let's play c5 against the London. Do an early capture. Play d5. I don't really have a favorite food. Play the hippo? I should have played the hippo against him. It's a good idea. This position I played a couple times. Rook e1 followed by knight e5. I faced someone in a tournament game from this exact position. I think I played queen c7 in that game, and I ended up winning. Idea being to be able to take when the pawn will not fork those two pieces. I think this is exactly what happened in that game, actually. Knight f3. And then I went rook f c8, I believe, to meet knight g5 with knight f8 to defend h7. Knight on f8, there is no mate, remember. And long term, black is looking to play down the c file, maybe engage the b pawn, try to create a weakness over here. I think for the moment, the position is pretty close to equal, though. Hard to believe it's anything but that. But black is quite safe. This looks aggressive, but this is pseudo activity for white, really. That's important to point out. Let's play h6. Do I know Chess Bra? Yes, I do. Yeah, I know both Amon and Eric. Great guys. I haven't seen them in person for a few years, but yeah. They are chess OGs of the streaming world. They're cool guys. Am I rooting for anyone in the World Championship? Oh, I definitely want to see Magnus win it. No doubt. I want to see if Magnus can elevate his game even further. I mean, he's obviously accomplished so much in his chess career, but he's in like legacy mode at this point in the sense that he already is consensus the best player of all time, if not, very much in that conversation, like top 2 or 3. But I think if he extends his world championship streak a little bit longer and he has the motivation to continue doing that, there won't be really any dispute. Some people might still say Kasparov just based on the length of time he was world champion. But I think if Magnus wins this match, and especially if he takes it one more, which would put him getting close to his mid-30s and still defending and being the best player in the world, that would be impressive. Because remember, he won the world championship in 2013 against Anand. And he was, how old was he? 22, I think, at that time? Let's go here. Just trying to defend my pawns right now. F4, I'll play knight d3. It's like Jordan going for the 6 ring, says Leonard. Yeah. Yeah, Nepo's an interesting opponent for him, right? F4 makes sense because white wants to try to win this pawn. But the thing is, after a trade here, I can pick up either of these pawns. I can even push this one now or just take b4, but I think I like pushing. So if he takes, I push again and can't stop that pawn. Nick said he is a beast. And that's making me laugh because the auto mod on Lichess in the chat, the Twitch chat that is, like flagged that. It says, held a message for reason, bullying. I think you can't say beast for some reason. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Hippo. Thanks to the game. John is a beast. Oh, thank you. They just permitted the word beast in the Twitch chat. You guys are all trying it now. Yeah, thanks again, Hippo. This line is, like I said, probably about equal. I think probably the move that got you in trouble was c4 to some degree. I don't think you should really be playing c4. I think, if anything, you should be trying to put this knight on d4, kind of digging in a little bit. Because this did put you in a predicament as far as how to defend your pawns. And yeah, knight f3, that loses a pawn for you, so that's also a culprit. But it's looking mildly uncomfortable here. Maybe here you should play rook d1 to get off of the file, because you can unpin yourself. Okay, thanks for the game. Anovish, let's go. Let's play e4. Yeah, Numeroid. Hello, Numeroid, by the way. Numeroid, are you taking over the mod duties today for No Joke Chess? I haven't seen No Joke in the chat. He's usually here. Hope he's okay. Anuvish, I hope you're there. Knock, knock. I'm sorry, Anuvish. We got to move on. You can always re-challenge if you see this later. Okay, Vlad Chess Viewer, let's play. Let's join the B3 Cowboy gang. Three-second limit and then cancel. Yeah, we got to move fast. Numeroid says, I think No Joke is listening. At least he was earlier. Ah, okay. He's listening, waiting, wishing. Oh, cool. Thanks, Numeroid. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We got Queen H5 as the threat. Now we're going to undermine the center. Probably, yeah, C6. That makes sense. Let's go Bishop E2. Now, one thing I've learned about these positions, it's very tempting to play Knight C3, but it might be better to play Bishop E3, Bishop A3 at some stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Queen D2 to try to guard against Queen A5. And I want to try to trade this dark square bishop. This is a good piece for black. I'm going to attempt to swap it off. One B3 feels soft, says pass pawn. I think you're soft, pass pawn. Yeah, Fischer did play b3 every once in a while. He played it against, I think he played it against Ulf Anderson in a game that I've referenced on stream before. Saigen 1970. I think that started b3. It turned into a reverse hedgehog. Okay, so let's castle now. Maybe I can expand here. c5, b4, b5. I have good options in this position, I think. Let's go h5. He's looking for g5. But you know what can happen if he plays g5 now? We can take en croissant. Right? Now let's go c5. Look at the pawn structure action going on here. c5. Ooh, he might try to play queen e8 and win this pawn, but we have the aesthetically pleasing retreat, queen d1, to hold the pawn. A lot of pawn structure action going here. I think I'm probably better because the b5 move is on the way. Now, knight g4, that looks like a maybe not a blunder. Maybe not a blunder. That's interesting. So take. Knight f6 in the end. Okay, fair. Let's take it anyways, though. I think we got to capture. Let's go queen h4. I got to be careful on the light squares now. Absolutely. I think black came up with a good idea there with knight g4. I would have taken with the knight if I were black. But I don't know. This is still very interesting. Ooh, g5. G5 is the threat. Beware, John. Be advised. Let's take. I'm going to go for b5 next because I don't see any other plan. I might be worse here. This is a challenging game. Did he have g5 move earlier? No, remember, because of en croissant. I mean, he could have played it, but I would have played en passant. Let's go here. Now, if he takes, I don't mind that because I can pivot my knight back and maybe pressure him from there. Let's go here, hit the pawn. Very tension-filled position we're working with. A lot of tension. Sorry, Laura Boda. For the French viewers, that may be painful to hear. I don't claim to have any good French pronunciation. Croissant. Yeah. Okay. Traded queens should favor me because now I can more or less know that my king will be safe in the short term, and I can start pressuring black's weaknesses, especially the base of the chain, right? When you're attacking a pawn chain, it's like chopping down a tree, right? You generally don't want to chop down a tree at the top of the tree. That would be foolish. You want to start at the base, right? We got to start at the base of the tree. So I'm thinking about rook a6. I'm also thinking about rook a7. I think I'm going to play rook a7 just to gain a tempo, make him play rook f7, and then double, maybe with this on the way. Yeah, let's take, and then rook a8. And I'm looking, okay, king e7 would be an instructed blunder because the rook takes b8 now. He avoids that. Now, I probably just got to settle for this move. We win a pawn. Maybe I'll go after d5. We'll see. Yeah, go after d5. Got a nice structure unblemished here, and Vlad Chess Viewer resign. Good game, Vlad Chess Viewer. I think that's the toughest game I've had today. And I believe you were probably better when you found knight g4. If I were to guess, yeah, look at that. The engine really likes your position. -2. Maybe if you had taken with the knight on h5, because I think this is a great concept by you. Oh, the engine likes bishop takes. I thought knight takes was more dangerous for me because I was thinking knight takes. If you get this, where you have the light square bishop remaining, and I don't keep my knight on the king side, I really got to be careful about my light square weaknesses, like you planting a bishop in here, maybe like rook f5, rook h5, trying to mate me on h1. So, yeah, well played. Good game. Probably just a couple too many trades. Yeah, g5 was mistimed, and I was able to wriggle out of that, but you played well. All right. Omar is next. Good luck, Omar. Let's play b6 against knight f3. I'm just reading some of the comments. Rook b6 on the last move is winning. Rook b6. Oh, to trade. Wait, is that when the king was on the 6th rank? Maybe, yeah. Let's play g5 here. b6 is soft, John. I'm playing another soft opening. Ooh. That move, I think, is a little too soft because it ignores my threat. He had to play bishop g2. Ooh, those long-range moves. G5, I think, is kind of a speculative stab, but it just seemed interesting, right? You see that every once in a while. But had he played bishop to g2, that would have been fine. Now let's see if we can sneak in e5. Bishop there. Fortunately, I can play c6, but yeah, we're going to get in e5. Oh, that is a yikes move. So we got two ways to handle that. All right. He might have just played that because he was going down with the ship. Okay, thanks for the game, Omar. Yeah, so you want to meet this Fianchetto, if you're going to Fianchetto yourself, with the immediate bishop g2 after g5. Try to oppose my bishop. So thank you for the game. Shantham Grarks. Let's go. This must be a mixed up spelling of Grantham Sharks, which I think is a English league chess team. Like what is the league they have there? NCCL? Is that what it is? I have no idea what that stands for, but I think that's it. So we got some Catalan where black has played knight c6. Shark versus whale? Yeah. And we just have you Remoras out there. Just clinging to the sharks and the whale, hoping to get some of the action. No, you guys are the best. These streams would be nothing without you Remoras. For NCL. Ah, yeah. Four Nations Chess League. For NCL. Thank you, Pizza Racer. Good to hear, Smithy Q. Okay, rook b8. Let's line up with the knight, like just to give us the option a knight takes b5 if b5 is played. Treadstone says, have been trying Catalan out. Is it a top tier or is it playable? It's still top tier. Yeah, definitely still top tier. Treadstone. Is that the secret program that Matt Damon as Jason Bourne was in, like in the Bourne Identity series? Like Operation Treadstone? Great movies. I remember being so hyped to see those movies back in like the early 2000s. You know what the most annoying thing is, though, about the Bourne movies? There's too much shaky cam. They turn the shaky cam up to the maximum, like 11. Like all those fight scenes, you just get dizzy, man. They're awesome scenes. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the movies, But the shaky cam was just like, ugh. Brutal. Threaten this. This is looking good. Black's pieces are kind of passive, threatening the pawn. I'd like to keep this knight out of the game. I have bishop c5 here. Okay, bishop c5. We'll take that opportunity. Maybe throw in f4 even. Because we can with tempo. There is here. Guess I can play g4 then, so we're still... Queen h5 would snipe my rook, though. Treadstone says, yeah, it's just what they wanted for the dynamic effect, but it gets tiring sometimes. Yeah, like I can see doing it on some scenes, but for the entirety of the trilogy, it was a bit much. It's a shame when like really good movies like that are kind of marred by something that should be addressable and that you would think most people would dislike. Like, for example, did you guys see Tenet in theaters? I thought that movie, the sound mixing they did, it was just way too loud. It was a really beautiful film. And Christopher Nolan, I mean, awesome. Like, really a grandiose production. But the sound mixing, like, you could barely hear the audio. And maybe it varies by theater, but the audio was just brutal. Yeah, very possible, Nick, too quick. Worse in the theaters. Did I watch Interstellar? Yeah. Yep. I get a lot of those movies confused, though, the space movies that all came out at the same time. Like Interstellar, The Martian. Is Interstellar the one with Matthew McConaughey? I actually don't remember which one that is, but I saw it. Gravity as well. Yeah, I get all those confused. One of them had George Clooney in it, right? George Clooney and I forgot the actress's name. Sandra Bullock. Yeah. Thank you. You guys know your films. Just had 4 people type Sandra Bullock consecutively in the chat. Sandra Bullock. That'll become a meme. Just watch it. All right, I got to watch my time here. Speaking of watching things. Let's push forward. Keep pushing. Take. Threaten mate. We can ignore what's happening on the queen side for now, because I think this is virtually unstoppable. Not quite. Okay. We get some trades. Can finally take here. Oh, okay. I was just ahead on the clock. I think Shantham Garks and I have played before, and I remember that game was also pretty much down to the wire. Yeah, good game. Thank you. Competitive. Yeah, I had some difficulties converting at the end. Looks like you're in a slightly uncomfortable situation. I don't know about the Catalan with like knight c6. So what would I do if I were you? I mean, I guess I see the way that I see people play these positions are bishop g4, like getting the bishop outside the chain. But I'm not an expert on this line by any means. Chigorin. Oh, thank you, BD Gambitier. Yeah, thanks for the game. Let's get back in the mix here. Shout out to Messemer Robin in the chat said Jodie Foster. Everyone was saying Sandra Bullock, and Messemer Robin on YouTube said Jodie Foster. Okay, Jay Hubie. I'm going to play another Scandinavian. I have 122 challenges. Get outplayed. Ooh, pick up a pawn here. Yes, you never know when it's the 1500 with the question mark, because that means that they have not played a game at that time control. Is this Jay Hubie's first game ever on Lichess? Oh, they played one classical game. First ever game at any other time controls, though, so only their second game. Ah, Jodie Foster was in contact with Matthew McConaughey. That's a... When did that movie come out? That was a while ago, right? Yeah, that seems like a 90s movie. Maybe early 2000s at the latest. How much longer will I be streaming? Ask Crooked Rooks. I will be streaming for another about 40 minutes. So plenty of time. 1997. Okay. Actually, one of my chess friends, shout out to Reed Sorensen if he happens to be watching for whatever reason. But his username on the Internet Chess Club back in the day was Contact. I'm going to bring this rook over to the e8 square, attack the bishop on e2. Ashwin says, I had sent you a correspondence challenge 30 minutes ago. That's why you didn't see my challenge. Yeah, the correspondence challenges, unfortunately, I have to ignore. Those get me in trouble. Do I still play on ICC? Every once in a while. But it's a rough scene over there, to be honest. There's just so few players. Do you have many friends outside of chess? I do, yeah. I have a fair amount of friends that I keep in touch with from elementary, middle, and high school, especially because I live close to the area where I grew up. All right, let's take, because Jay Hubie needs to see that he needs to take with the knight. Yeah, taking with the rook, that undefended the bishop there. So that rook on d1 was potentially overworked. And now they pay the price. And the Darkness Rises, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the Lichess community. That's awesome of you. Gifting 2, Proto 1701, BKM, Handles AZ, the Pedersen Kid, and Mickey Dequette. Very kind of you. Thanks for supporting the community. Do you think it was shocking to your childhood friends when you decided to make chess your career? Probably not, because they grew up hearing about my, chess endeavors. I have a plaque on the wall of the high school that I graduated from that talks about my chess accomplishments. It's still there. They asked if they could make a plaque about it when I was about to graduate, and I agreed. Someone actually tweeted it at me. Maybe I'll retweet it. Someone's like, hey, I was at your old high school. I think they might even go there. They might be a student there. And I found your plaque on the wall. It was wholesome, yeah. This is close to mate. I like that at the he gave me 15 seconds. Thank you for the game, Jay Hubie. Yeah, so the way to deal with this e5 move is either to take it or play knight. You can also play knight f3, but to be honest, I don't think white has very much in this line. I would not personally recommend d4. I would play either knight c3, the main line, or knight f3 is also a good option. But yeah, thank you for the game. Treadstone says, come on, Algo, pick me. Yes, magic button, here we go. Vogel is up. All right. Let's play a bird. Bird's the word. Aren't you also a lawyer? No. I only did one semester of law school, so I'm far, far from ever being considered a lawyer. But we do have a lawyer in the chat, Lawyer Bodo. I think he's a French lawyer, though. So if you're outside of France, maybe maybe it won't be so applicable. But okay, let's play h3. Let's try to mob him with my kingside pawns. Just advance a little bit. I don't know if I really want to play g5 or e5 even, but let's see what happens. Can I play a Vienna Gambit? I could try that, Greg. Yeah, I've actually been meaning to play a Vienna because I know a lot of you guys play it. Which course at college have I done? Do you mean like what my major was? I was a business administration major. Probably the most generic, one of the most generic degrees you can get. Certainly in business. I would not have gotten that degree if I could do that again. Okay, this pawn's not under attack, so I guess I can just go here. Can he take on e4, though? Yeah, this is always the thing. When you push these pawns, you have to maintain those pawns. Maybe knight e5. Let's play the knight up and try to go bishop e3. Oh, very nice, Ashwin. Studying to become a doctor. Very nice. Maybe get outplayed. I'm not sure about that. I do think a lot of business experience for me personally was just built in being self-employed, quite honestly. Knight d3 runs into knight takes c2, so let's go here. So it's always hard to say. I'm sure some stuff that I learned with my major has benefited me, but I've learned far more just being in business on my own. I'm going to go here and try to induce a trade where I get this pawn to b5. He can take this pawn. Ooh, I did not see that move at all. That was well spotted. This is still going to be interesting, though, because I think I'm going to have fairly reasonable compensation, but we'll find out. This is something that has not gone according to plan. Let's take this way. Got to be a little careful. I got to be a lot careful, actually. This pawn. Rook takes bishop here. Okay. Hold the phone. If I take and then e5, or take here first maybe and then e5, is that the cleanest way to do it? Which way? I'm going to keep it simple, I think. No, we're not going to keep it simple. We're going to go here. Rook d5, I play c4. But see how we're opening up the attack on b7? That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, now this. Crazy game here. Take. Think we're winning now, though. Still complicated. Here, maybe? I got to break this pin. Now, if pawn takes, yeah. I was going to say pawn takes, I could punish. So he does that one. Let's actually take. I'm going to take and play d6. I like the strength of my bishops. We are still not out of the woods, though. Certainly not on the clock. That's for sure. He's putting up fierce resistance. He trades. Okay. But now that pawn's going to promote. Rook d4, I take it. That was a big miss on his part. I think he got a little overeager there to press me on the clock. Now black is robusto. Busted. Good game. Yeah, that was tricky. I think after bishop h4, black's probably going to be -1, 1.5 maybe. But the position opened up in my favor. Yeah, I totally missed this idea. This is another consequence of having moved these pawns is you open yourself up to stuff like bishop h4. So that is good. But still some compensation for white. Looks like he maybe did not have to take on f2 right away. He could drag that out a little bit. But probably the real mistake, this is not even good for me, evidently, taking queen b8 is good there. Probably here, yeah, taking with the queen was better. But in general, I think you want to address the situation sooner. So hence why the engine probably wants to play queen b8 sooner than black did. Very complicated, though. Thanks for the game. Good game, Vogel. All right. Chess Blood, 1411. Let's do this. Luke Edward on YouTube asked, John, please play a Queen's Gambit line. Let's play in this one. Let's play the Pirc. I haven't played the Pirc today. Let's go e5. Attack the center. Thank you, K Buckby. Shout out to K Buckby, by the way. Let's play like an old Indian style formation. Knight bd7. Maybe c6, b5. Queen c7. This is more of a system type opening, but that's okay. A little bit passive, yeah. I do play table tennis, yeah. It's fun. You'll find a lot of chess players who enjoy table tennis and also just tennis. Like a lot. Probably it's one of the most popular sports that chess players play. I never really was that big into tennis specifically, but I've always liked table tennis, ping pong. I actually started a racket sports club with one of my friends when I was in high school. Played ping pong and badminton. What defines a system opening? I would say a line where you generally play the same moves for the first like 10, maybe even up to 15 moves of the game. You might vary it a little bit based on what the opponent's doing, but you can get away with largely playing the same moves. So like this setup I did here, it's something you can play against a wide variety of white moves to start. I like Chessblood setup, by the way. 14-11, but they're choosing a strong setup here. All right. Let's bring this over. Maybe I can push through the center at some point. D5. Is it possible for Lichess to pre-pond your stream by 2 hours? What do you mean by pre-pond? Like stock my stream with viewers or opponents? Thank you, Edgar, by the way. Says love on the stream. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Knight c4, I have mixed feelings about that. I feel like I need to play a5 first, perhaps. I got to watch knight g5, though. Knight g5 could spoil my day. This is sneaky. Targeting f7. I got to be a little careful here, folks. I think I'm going to have to play knight c4. I don't know how thrilled I am about this move, but I need to block this bishop. I'm getting bad vibes from the bishop bearing down on my king. Maybe he could have played queen e2 there. I don't know. I think they mean opposite of postpone. Oh. They want it to work better with their schedule, huh? Let's play a5. I need to maybe be able to protect this pawn at some stage. I'm a little nervous here, though. I could get mated in this position if I'm not careful. Like take, queen h6. Maybe a5 wasn't even a good move. It's queen h6, knight g5. The only thing holding my position together is the knight on f6. Also the fact that I'm up huge on the clock. I'm going to try to do this. This is my way of bailing out. Now, if he plays knight h5 or something to that effect, if he can ever get that in, that would be potentially dangerous. But fortunately, I think my queen comes to the rescue just in time. All right. Chess Blood ran out of time, but they had a good position. Like I said, bishop b1, a3, bishop a2. That put a lot of pressure on my position. Yep. Thank you for the game. Well played. Well played. Okay. Inc 314. The initial digits of pi. 3.14. What have I not played? Let's play English. Oh, YouTube chat. Polary T on Twitch says, I can relay their message. Sending a hello to the YouTube chat. Don't want them to feel excluded. So do know that we are watching you in the best way. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Got over 200 viewers on there. Good stuff. And how many do we have on Lichess? Or Twitch, I should say. 465. Awesome. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Hope you're having a good weekend. Oh, is this you, Greg Benson? Or is this someone else? Ah, okay. They just happen to have 314 in their username as well. I see. Can I try to play a Norwegian defense? Ooh, that would be interesting, Dark Project. Yeah, I'll try to play that. How does that go? That's like e4, knight f6, e5. Is it knight h5, d4, g6? Then you put the knight. I remember the knight comes back to g7 somehow. Which legend of the past is your favorite, John? Which chess legend that is? I would say Morphy. That's the one player I'd really like to meet. I'd like to meet a number of different chess players, world champions, and whatnot, but I would love to spend some time with Morphy. Actually, I was just in New Orleans recently, which is where Morphy is buried, where he grew up. And I didn't get to visit his grave this time, but I have been to his grave before. Oh, nice. Browse the web. Yeah. Simon's stream is always interesting. All right. So I'm thinking maybe queen b3 here to try to threaten d5 in some capacity. This bishop looks a little shaky. But let's see if we can threaten d5. Or I guess I'm threatening bishop takes c6 as well. Will you meditate, sir? That's an interesting question. I wasn't planning on it, but maybe you could convince me. This is an interesting little situation here because I could take and then play a3. If I play a3 right away, a4, and the bishop's defended. So I think I actually want to take here and play a3. But my dark squares are pretty tender, not going to lie. The light squares are suspect because you see all the pawns that I have on dark squares? You guys know what that means. If you've been watching my videos, you know I just try to hammer this into your heads. When you have pawns committed to one color complex, invariably, almost always, the other color complex is weak. So even though black is down a pure piece here, I got to be careful about ink 3-1-4 attacking me like some sort of bishop h3 and trying to maneuver the queen here. It honestly might be a case where I should give up my rook for the light square bishop or let him take it. This is black's most valuable piece, relatively speaking. He takes. Okay, I'm going to take here. Try to get the queen a little bit closer to my weak king. Knight takes would have ran into c5, so we're not going to do that. Hello, Stefan, by the way, on YouTube. All right, let's play queen f4, I guess. Attack the bishop. Now I'm feeling pretty good. This feels pretty safe. I think white missed the window of time to attack on the light squares. It was when my queen was over there on the queen side. Now I can start trying to push back on the light squares. e4, maybe f3. Let's play e4 for sure, just to block the bishop a little bit. You can send the queen in here, but doesn't have much of a threat behind it, right? Oh yeah, Danya's great. Smacky the Frog. Yeah, Danya is a amazing teacher, amazing guy too. One of my favorite people in the chess world. Do you still view the Dutch defense as suspect? Well, I don't know if it's my view so much, but it does have the reputation as being a little dubious, but I think it's completely playable. Actually, that's one opening I want to study a little bit more myself. I think it's pretty interesting. The thing about the Dutch is I would worry most about the early deviations by white, especially if you play d4, f5 specifically, because there's so many annoying moves. Thank you for the game ink, by the way. So many annoying moves that black can face in the Dutch early on, like knight c3 on move 2, e4, bishop g5, just a number of different lines. If you get into it via d4, e6 first, and you're okay with playing a classical Dutch, as like Simon does, that I think is a little more interesting in terms of a move order. Ink, let me just check this real quick. I wonder... Yeah, because even though you lost the piece, you can see this is not such a bad evaluation for being about to go down a piece. But I think you do have to attack on the light squares pretty swiftly. Yeah, I guess here there's not a whole lot, but I would be much more worried about stuff like bishop h3 and then queen f6 trying for queen f3. I think that's fundamentally what you should be aiming for here. So thank you for the game. Okay, tool chess. Let's go. Let's play knight c3. What is the name of this opening again? Someone will know it. Knight c3 on move 1. It's like... I've forgotten. Let's transpose d4. The Dunst. Yeah, the Dunst opening. Doesn't it have another name too? Van Geet. Yeah. The Van Geet or the Dunst opening. We'll play a Jobava London. Bishop f4, knight c3. Now, common mistake here, knight c6. I was just going over this with a student the other day. After knight b5, white is winning a pawn at minimum. So, okay, c5 is interesting. I'm going to play an aggressive move, e4. I played the black side of this position before. This gets interesting. Kirsten variation. Oh, get out of here, Mark John. Yeah, the Kirsten Dunst variation. John, speaking of Danya, what do you think about his impression of yours? I don't know. People seem to like that impression, but then again, Danya has a lot of impressions he does that get positive reviews. It's very hard to know like how you sound. So I don't know how I would rate Danya's impression because I can't evaluate myself objectively. Let's go queen d2. I'm going to offer him the b pawn. Queen takes b2, rook b1, queen a3, maybe knight b5 at that point. All right, so let's cackle now. Interesting position here. We're playing it in Gambit style. It's a bit too high pitched, but quite good, says Dan the Skyman. Nice. Do you have your Starbucks at hand, John? Not Starbucks, but I do have some coffee here in the thermos. Ooh, E6. Offering to open the position. That seems risky. Let's take for one thing. And I got this bishop ready to go to B5. Johnny on the spot with the bishop. Ooh, this could get violent and not in black's favor. If he blocks on D7, I'm just taking. King E7, I'm looking for a brilliant checkmate. May not exist, but bishop D6 is going to win the house. Yeah, Danya has a lot of great impressions. He's really, really good with those. Kako quickside, yeah. I need to play this line more often. Knight C3, bishop F4, Jobava style. I think it's interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't see a forced mate here. There's various trades, various ways to win the piece. I think check is probably just the easiest. King D8, and then bishop takes C5. Yeah. Thanks for the game, Tool Chess. So this is too risky to play the move E6. Honestly, the position already looks a little suspect for black here, but it's probably still fine at that moment. I mean, maybe G6, bishop G7, and castle. Yeah, I can play like F3 and try to open things up. I do think the best way to play against this line is G6 right away. This is what I usually do. Like very quickly try to get the bishop out in castle. You are up a pawn here. So thanks for the game. We'll try to get in a couple more games here for our final game, which you know what's coming in the final game, right? Yeah, Danya's impressions of Russian players are spot on for sure. He's got the great Wesley So impression as well. That, I think, is what he rates as his strongest. Soul Bob, are you there? Soul Bob, wake up. Come on, man. All right, we got to move on. Bjorn Lofheim Olsen. Let's go. Let's play. We've been talking about Dutch. Let's play Dutch. We'll play the straight up Dutch. Should I go Leningrad or classical? I'm feeling Leningrad. I'm going to show my Lenin gratitude to the chat and play Leningrad. That sounds bad, Lenin gratitude. I don't mean like that Lenin. You guys know what I mean. I'm just playing off of the opening's name. This is nice when you get in a quick E5. We can go E4. Expand in the center. Where's this knight going to go? Knight G5. I'll play H6 and kick it back. So when you get this pawn formation in, you get the quick E5 in the Dutch. Generally, you're liking life. You guys are too funny. Who do I think is the strongest American chess player currently? Yeah, I think Fabiano. I think it's definitely Fabiano. I think Wesley's showing great form, though, too. I think he's probably right up there. Fabiano did get bounced from the candidates pretty quickly. It's a shame that Wesley didn't play the World Cup. Do you guys know what the story was there? I think Wesley maybe had some concerns over COVID. That would be my impression as to why he didn't play, but I'm not sure. Ooh, White took their eye off the ball. That is a piece. I'm sorry, Bjorn. All right. Let's just restrict the enemy a little bit. We'll play a6. Stop knight b5. Maybe double. Aronian's good, but yeah, I don't know what the status of his transfer is. And also he's not Fabiano and Wesley status at the moment, I believe. Even though Aronian has been number 2 in the world and was for quite a long period of time. I don't think he's... I could be wrong. What is Aronian's world ranking right now? Let me look this up. I don't want to sell him short. He might be like higher than Wesley for all I know. But I want to say he fell out of the top 10. No, he's number 5. Again, I'm glad I looked that up. He's high. He's 4 points higher than Wesley. It's like a 10-point difference. The cluster from like the 2770s to 2780s or 90s is very tight. So yeah, I guess rating wise, Aronian is like right there too. So he's probably just as strong as them. But I guess the reason I would say that is because of age. Like Aronian is just getting older. I mean, his window for really making a serious challenge is rapidly closing, it feels like. Whereas I would say Wesley still has a few good years to really make a run at it. But again, I mean, these guys are all great players, so I don't want to sell anyone short. Just my opinion. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Wesley's been in great form. Mark John, I agree. Hello, Pat. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, thank you for the game, Bjorn. Yeah, so I was able to achieve e5 in pretty straightforward fashion. If it were me, I guess I would consider e4 for you, or maybe right here, like d5, just to disrupt my plan of e5 followed by e4. I think this was a little passively played on your part. And yeah, you did blunder the piece, but this was already looking a little cramped for you. Maybe rook d1 here. So thanks for the game. Okay, I think we're ready for the main event. The Bongcloud horsey game. Who's going to be the lucky opponent here? Who is the magic button going to pick? Right? So you know the drill. We play with the set. It's the final game of the stream. And we play the Bongcloud no matter what. I have yet to lose one of these games. I'm undefeated. Travel Girl. Hello, Travel Girl, by the way. This is a consistent viewer. Good luck. You are the recipient of my e-pawn. Or maybe not. I thought you might go for the e-pawn. Scandinavian is good against this. All right. Ah, the delay d5. Okay, better late than never, right? Let's take. Yeah, now unfortunately I think I have to retreat because I'm facing the threat of queen e4 mate. Knight c3, queen e6 is also pretty suspect for me, so I do think I have to bring the king back. That's right, Numeroid. No Winter Palace, yeah. It's getting harder and harder to go to the Summer or the Winter Palace in the Bongcloud. People know what to do. They know how to meet this opening. Team Scandi, says Chessmaster. Yes. Play h3. Now, black does not actually have to address this threat because my rook is undefended on h1. So if Travel Girl does not want to take the pawn or the knight on f3 or move the bishop, she doesn't have to. Let's play d3 now. I'm just going to try to coordinate a little bit. Maybe bishop e3. Yeah, bishop e3, queen d2 perhaps. I might go rook g1 just to try to force some resolution on that wing, but we'll see. What are the palace variations? You might have to read the famous PDF document on the Bongcloud. I know, right, Greg? The Queen H5 against the Bongcloud. Greg's referring to if you pre-move the Bongcloud as black. So if you play E5 and then pre-move King E7, you run the risk of white playing E4, E5, Queen H5. Then on King E7, Queen takes E5 as checkmate. It's one of the fastest mates out there. So you do run that risk. I'm playing Rook G1 to unpin. So now H takes G4 is a threat. And I'm going to take with the bishop if Travel Girl captures. I don't know who made this set. I feel like someone in the chat might know. Gary Chess made it. Father of Anna Chess. Ooh, now I think I can get a fork, right? Unless I can trap the queen somehow. Let me think. Don't think the queen can get trapped like knight e5, queen h4. I could repeat the position with knight f3 at that point. It's a funny repetition. I don't see a trap, though, because knight here, queen g6, knight h4, black just takes. So I think I go ahead and play g4. This was definitely made by a graphic artist. Probably a pretty good one to make it derpy on purpose. Graphic design is my passion. Kind of reminds me of that meme. Let's play knight e4. I'm up a piece now. This is looking good. But you could put like graphic design is my passion and just have a picture of the knight. Let's take with check. Very important that that's check. Otherwise, I'd be losing my queen. Take. King takes d6 is probably going to be played. Then do I take g7 or do I play, I don't know, rook g5 or something? I think if you're Travel Girl, you got to take on d6. Yeah. Let's take the pawn. Why not? A little worried about my king, but I think the king can tuck in on d2. We'll renew the safe haven for the king. Now let's go after the pawn on f7. Okay. Thank you, Travel Girl, for the game. I like that you recognize that after queen h5, h3, you didn't have to address the bishop here. But yeah, somehow I was actually fairly safe. Maybe you want to go for something like a quick e5, e4. Maybe that would be a little more challenging in this position. But I think as played, probably you should castle. Maybe try to play down the d file a little bit. But thank you for the game, Travel Girl. Appreciate your viewership. And thanks to everyone who challenged today and tuned in, both on Twitch, YouTube, those of you watching in the future on the archive version. Thanks again. This is one of the highlights of the week for me always. Yeah, my pleasure, Malcolm. Apologies to those I wasn't able to play today. We tend to get a decent number of games in, but not nearly the amount that get the amount of the challenges that roll in. But we'll do this again soon. We're going to raid Chiquitas next, so feel free to stick around for their stream. Thank you, Browse to Web. Appreciate you all. Consider supporting Lichess if you haven't already. It's a great project for the chess community. Truly, truly lucky that we get to enjoy Lichess. So thanks again. Thanks, Numeroid and No Joke Chess for setting this up. You all have a good rest of your day. Over and out. And see you guys next time. Maybe someone can take me down.